Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live, man. They told me it was the algorithm. They said your growth is just plateaued. But now the truth's out, man. Alphabet, the company that's over Google, YouTube, the parent company, told Congress that during the Biden administration, check it out, they were pressured to bury and remove content that didn't toe the line. And I knew it. I knew it all this time. I lived it. And I sat at 660,000 subscribers for 4 straight years. Flatline, no momentum. Videos were flagged every single day for nothing. Growth dead. And now suddenly the past few days since this has happened, my subs are spiking like pre-2020. That's not a coincidence. That's the choke loosening. If they can do that to me, they can do it to you. Now, again, man, I live this, okay? I asked YouTube during this time what was wrong. Early on in YouTube, I was gaining momentum very quickly. I started in 2012, and the first year was slow. The second year was a little bit faster, but then it was like I was moving quickly. Exponential growth. I asked YouTube though back during this past 4 years, I said, man, what's wrong? And they gaslit me. They said everything's normal. Okay. Now, whenever I hit 100,000 followers back in the day, they gave me a YouTube manager, and I had 2 different ones. They were 6-month intervals. And the last one I had was a guy that was very good. He left to go work for another company, but they would try to help you grow. Okay. Now, after that era, I stopped having a YouTube manager. Essentially, it's just somebody that works at Google that assists you in growth. They help a lot of creators. Okay. And you have to apply for it, or maybe sometimes they'll come to you and say, hey, and basically they teach you how the algorithm works. They teach you the back end, like YouTube Studio, Creator Studio, and stuff like that, stuff that you may not know. And if you have a YouTube channel, you understand like some of this stuff is difficult to understand, like the analytics and things. Now, after I was shadow banned for some time, the DEI era hits, okay? They invited creators to self-ID. Dude, I marked boxes I knew that would get routed. 3 days later, I got a new YouTube manager after all this time. And now this one was solid. She was from the South, but she worked for YouTube. She overturned hundreds of bogus flags on my videos. She watched my videos and said, these videos should not be flagged. On one video that she said did not violate any guidelines, she went all the way to the top of the chain. The response came back and said, we don't care. We're going to keep it flagged. She told me off the record they don't call it shadow ban, but that's what it looks like. That's not the algorithm. That's policy with a silencer. 4 years of frozen subs. It's not organic. It's a message. Step out of the line, lose your reach. That destroyed revenue for my business, visibility for my brand, and momentum that I worked very hard for. Okay. So now I guess they've had their hands slapped, so they're changing things back. Right. But again, 660,000 for 4 years. And if you've been following me, you've probably seen, I see people coming all the time. My own friends, my father said, oh, I don't even get notified for your videos. Now the Congress heat is on. Suddenly I can breathe again. Anyway, they don't burn books anymore, man. Like George Orwell, Fahrenheit 451 and things like that. They bury channels. They bury content. That's the new way they're doing it. The same things, George Orwell, 1984. Now, if we zoom out for a second, we got suppression at home, weak signals abroad. Bagram Air Base, built by the Soviets in the 50s, expanded by us into the crown jewel of the region. Strategic runway, ISR hub, pressure lever on China, Russia, Iran. 2021, Biden ghosted it. The Taliban rolled in and took the keys. Now Trump is saying point blank, he wants it back, right? Or bad things will happen. If we don't get a return, bad things are going to happen, guys. He's saying it. He was asked this the other day. Let me roll the footage for you.
To Afghanistan, and we want it back, and we want it back soon, right away. And if they don't do it, you're going to find out what I'm going to do. Now to Afghanistan. And
he's not playing. Taliban's response is, we'll fight another 20 years. That's what you call intent, man. Terrain plus will. It'll be bad, but you know, Bagram is extremely important, okay? It's not a talking point. It's a chessboard node. You lose it and your whole posture changes. We should have never lost it. Biden should have never turned it over. That whole thing was a disaster, and those people should be brought to jail. Let's just be honest. Okay. Now, we got that going on, threats of maybe going back to Afghanistan. Now we have Europe running hot, though. Article 4 meetings are happening. They're being spun up with members to see the threat and need to confer, okay? It's the last term before Article 5, the Mutual Defense Clause. Attack one, attack all. Okay, so it's the one right before that. Basically, what this is how we can now assist, okay? But this is how big wars start, guys. A violation, a scramble, maybe a mis-ID, a wreck hits the wrong farmland. Suddenly, commitments pull everyone in. And that's reckless. It's reckless is how wars start. And you could see a false flag happening now. Trump has said the quiet part out loud, shoot down the aircraft that violate sovereign airspace, whether you cheer or not. That's a forced posture signal that changes calculations in Moscow and everywhere else, okay? Here he is talking about defending Poland.
the Baltic States from Russia, is Russia escalating? Yeah, I would. Should the Pentagon be in control of what reporters can report on? Should the Pentagon be in charge of deciding what reporters can report on? Yeah, I don't think so.
Now, he was pushed the other day about that question, okay, and saying that he's cutting free speech with reporters. Now, what I said the other night is that there should be no BS with reporting on military matters within the media. There should be no bias, whether you like the guy in office or not. It should be direct facts. So he tried to catch him there by saying, "Oh, you're suppressing free speech."
Are you okay? Are you?
And he shut it down.
Nothing stops reporters. Have you been briefed on Estonia, sir? Yeah, we don't like it.
And then he's talking about Estonia. When I just talked about pushing that Article 4, he said he doesn't like it. He's pissed at Putin. Okay, he's pissed. Now, Zelensky is out here posting that Trump trusts him and Trump trusts, and they see the threats in the same way. Check it out.
Really, it seems like, especially in what you're saying and what he said in his Truth Social post, he has a new understanding of what's going on the battlefield.
He has had relations with Putin. And before my dialogue with him, he had these relations. And I don't know what this relation based, but in any way, he has it. And that's why he trusted that when Putin shared with him the situation in Ukraine on the east, that in one day, in 1 week, in 1 month, or these fairy tales, that they will occupy totally our Donbass east, or part which we control. Yes, big part which we control. And of course, he trusts him. And when then he back to me, President Trump, during phone conversations or dialogue, yes, he always said that, look, in autumn, they will occupy, we need to do something, and etc. And then one by one, he understood that Putin is just sharing some information which is far away of real situation on the battlefield or a way of truth. And of course, then when he and now he trusts much more bigger to me, because to the information what my intelligence and my military guys, military cabinet shares with partners. And I think this is one of the.
Now that's scary. You know, dude, I don't know. I hadn't been about anything with Ukraine. I'm not about going to war with these for Ukraine. I don't want to get involved in it. It seems like now America's getting more involved. Trump dropped this post today basically saying that he believes that Ukraine can win the war with help and get back pretty much all the territory, even Crimea. Not good. I don't know if Trump's just trying to scare Putin or not, but that is not good. Okay. Here he is sitting down with Zelensky.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Mr. President, any update on your talks with President Putin, and do you still trust him?
I'll let you know in about a month from now, okay?
President
Mr.
Trump, your
President, are
message
you
to
willing
the...
to provide Ukraine with the security guarantees the same way as European allies?
Well, that's later down the road. We'll be talking about that. Hopefully, we'll be in a position to talk about that a little bit later on. It's a little bit too early to answer
Why
that
do you think,
question.
Mr.
So a security guarantee is pretty much you get the benefit of NATO without being part of NATO. So you get attacked, we defend you. I don't like that at all. I don't know where this is coming from, but it kind of goes into what Colonel Douglas MacArthur says here, or sorry, McGregor. Douglas McGregor says here, Trump is not in control. Okay. Not that Biden was in control either, or any other president. He's alluding to that they're essentially deep state actors that we've said all along.
I understand why you would think that, but that presupposes that President Trump is in control. Who controls the Central Intelligence Agency? Who controls the flow?
And, that goes into whenever Trump was in office last time, and he was, being fed by these deep state operatives. Okay. The CIA and so on were feeding him lies and even omitting to tell the president things that he should have been aware of.
Of money and aid. Right now, it's not President Trump. It's the Congress. And I would argue undisclosed elements at the top of the Central Intelligence Agency, at the top of other intelligence agencies, MI6 and Mossad.
Boom!
So, we tend to look at the situation and assume that President Trump is like an emperor. And if he says, verily I say unto you, you will do the following, everybody marches in that direction. I don't see that right now. I don't think he is.
I don't either. The Uniparty is alive and well, strong. The Trump now versus the Trump 2016, a lot different. Now, the thing is, he had a lot of bad people in his cabinet in 2016 that, and pretty much they stalled him out, especially when it came into midterms. But now you're seeing things now like wanting to get involved in Ukraine, talking about a security agreement with them. Dude, I'm not even cool with that. And right now in New York, they're having the UN General Assembly, Trump, Zelensky. They sat down face to face, as you saw. We got daggum France there, Macron. But over 24 meetings are lined up for Zelensky. But that one was the one to watch because Zelensky came out, pressed hard, more sanctions, more guarantees, more NATO teeth. Trump shifted. He's no longer saying negotiate. He's saying Ukraine can reclaim everything, even Crimea. That's a lot different, okay, than what we voted for. Then the big one, Trump told NATO members straight, if Russian jets cross into your airspace, you shoot them down. That's not rhetoric. That's a military green light from the U.S. president. That changes the whole board, the whole chessboard. Things are shifting rapidly, especially then that Bagram is a big piece of this. Now, understand what this means legally. Article 4 is the consultation clause. We will consult you. But Article 5, that's the lock-in. Once triggered, every NATO member is legally bound to respond as if they were attacked themselves. No wiggle, no pause, bound. Overnight. Boom. That's the same mechanism that turned one pistol shot in Sarajevo into World War I alliances stacked like dominoes. Austria, Hungary, Germany, Russia, France, Britain, all sucked in. It's the same mechanism that pulled Britain and France into war in 1939 when Hitler hit Poland. Mutual defense isn't just paper, it is a freaking tripwire. Trump is now saying, essentially, test us, and you'll see jets fall. And you combine that with Zelensky demanding total pushback on Russia, and you will get Article 5 glowing red on the freaking horizon. Now, and the real tension, though, is Trump versus Putin. Trump is being coy. He's pissed. He's signaling NATO solidarity while openly saying Russia can be pushed back, Crimea included. That's existential for Putin, okay? So you've got one man trying to hold on to an empire and another man telling NATO to arm up and fire at will. One mistake, one scramble, one wreck on the wrong side of the border, and the fuse is burning. Because let me tell you something, Macron and all them fools, they want to go to war with Russia. They want to. Now, last night, I talked about Ryan Routh. Hadn't been in the news cycle. You didn't even know he was on trial. You were hearing about Jimmy Kimmel. But yesterday when I talked about him, I talked about the daggum $162,000 his daughter received, and probably Ukrainian money, just between me and you. But anyway, Ryan Routh, during his guilty pleading, right? Or guilty reading, not pleading. He pled not guilty. He got read guilty. He lunges and stabs himself with a freaking pen in the courtroom. I'm mentioning it because we're talking about, because it wasn't in the news cycle until today, okay? It wasn't in the news cycle, okay? Convicted. Life in prison. But today, you heard about him. You didn't know he was on trial. This is how the algorithms, the media, the circus works, right? Now, this is an unstable guy, probably backed by, he defended himself, which was idiotic. You're going to prison for life, dude. But individuals like him, man, they break first. Populations follow. This is a live indicator of how fast the stress is ripping through our society. Ideology, desperation, and instability, all converging. When the seams tear at the individual level, okay, the tear line is already running through the culture. You see it. You see it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about just what you're seeing now. I had this thought yesterday, okay? And this is why I gain followers, this is why I lose followers. And this is what separates me from the herd. I have convictions, but I refuse to be a fanatic. I don't do go team go, brain rot. I analyze. When you're a fanatic, whether it's politics, religion, fitness, sports, even your own ego, you stop seeing reality and start defending a team. Tunnel vision. You ignore contradictions and cherry pick scraps that fit your story or your team story. You then have identity fusion. Beliefs stop being ideas. They become you. Any critique feels like an attack on your soul. So if you say something about, hey, man, I don't like what the president's doing, even though I voted for him 5 times. Oh, you're a damn liberal. No, I'm just a guy looking at all the facts. That turns into emotional override. Logic gets hijacked by anger, fear, or pride. You argue to win, right? Not to find the truth. I'm all about the truth. Then weaponize blindness. You're predictable. The enemy knows your buttons and farms you for clicks, dollars, and votes. They do it all the time. Look at the Democrats. Look at them how they go after specific races. And then they say everybody that's not part of our group are racist. Same thing. Some other examples, politics people chanting slogans who can't define the policy. People call Charlie Kirk a racist. They can't even tell you why they say that. You have fitness cults, influencers treated like prophets, basic science replaced by magic powders and guru worship. Most of them are jacked up on all kinds of freaking injectables, right? Or the women have had countless surgeries, and they're going to tell you how to work out because you want to achieve that body. Well, they don't tell you the secret how they got to that body, okay? Then like another example, finance and crypto. Oh, guys, this time it's different. Cult logic until the tide goes out and everyone's naked. Everything's gone. Oh, man, lost everything. Another even more basic example because it's sports ball season. Fandoms. Riot over jersey colors, man. Worship of brands, because that's what a football team is, a brand as an identity. Warfighters, spies, survivors preach balance and discipline. Passion without control is weakness. Conviction without detachment is going to, you're going to self-implode. The strongest mindset equals conviction and the ability to detach and question yourself. That's how how you stay lethal and sane. Another perfect example, a symptom of the trust collapse is happening. RFK Jr. just came out and said, hey, man, studies and claims that acetaminophen or Tylenol may increase an autism risk in certain contexts. The internet runs wild. We have TikToks with pregnant women taking aspirin in revolt. Go look at it. It's online now. It's just another fanatic behavior, and that's what's destroying our society. And you, as a prepared individual, you should be able to detach, right? But here's enough theory. Here's what you do. Have information discipline. Pick a tight stack of sources across lanes. Cross-check archive receipts. Don't let the feed think for you, because it will. Just like they suppressed me, people didn't see me. They saw other people. They saw the soft guys, the guys that were kind of, oh, man, everything's fine, right? So that's when they come over to my channel. They say, you're a damn fearmonger, because they're not seeing it. They're seeing lattes and butterflies, right? Your physique as armor. You don't need to be a bodybuilder. You don't need to go compete against Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, but you do need to be hard to kill, okay? Strength, conditioning, and skill practice. These are 3 non-negotiables every week. No ego lifting, just program it. Get your heart rate up, these sort of things. Then you look at tradecraft, fieldcraft, navigation, comms, redundancy, medical, tourniquet, pack gauze, airway basics. Harden your home. And if you want to learn how to do that, go join on our commando level, and you'll get the Watchman film for free at commando level. You can go watch it right now. You can go sign up for commando level on our YouTube and go watch that for free. And I teach you how to harden your home, self-defense, home defense, home security, okay? All right? You need digital OPSEC as well. Backup of your digital assets, contacts off platform, okay? Gear and mobility, stage kits, man, go bags. We got them. The Ghost Pack, go get it, fill it up. We sell everything here, dude. It's here. Vehicle kit, tools, med, water. You have a home rack like this. This isn't my home. This is a safe house. But this big rack back here, look, full of gear, okay? Full of gear. This is power outage stuff, security basics, maybe World War III. If you can't be out your door in 5 minutes, you're a liability, okay? The next one, the biggest thing, tribe. This is your force multiplier. Lone wolves don't survive, man. Hollywood sells you that lie. But in real collapse, wolves hunt in packs. Build your circle. Tribe of 12. Vet them hard. Train together. Share skills. If Article 5 pops off or supply chains wobble, your tribe is what carries you through. Have that all together, okay? Tribe of 12. You can join our tribe. Got people all over the country. I was under 4 years of a digital choke, man. Survived it. The mask slip, the truth leak, growth kicked back in. Bagram's in enemy hands. NATO is one mistake away from history class turning into breaking news. Right? The herd will pick a team and scream. We don't, man. We assess, prepare, and move. Okay? Now, my order of the day is stay unbiased, stay disciplined, and stay lethal. They can try to bury the signal, guys. They can't bury men and women who refuse to bend. Okay? You can go sign up. That way we can have offline comms in case something happened. Add the link below and get your checklist to martial law. Okay. This free checklist will be emailed to you directly. Just go and put in your information and you'll get sent that email. And that way we can have offline comms in case they do come back being absolutely ridiculous, trying to shut us down. Guys, stay frosty, stay strapped, always stay dangerous. Black Scout